There's a double standard on both sides. This is a story, Megan, about monumental and despicable hypocrisy by liberal media and conservative media. If a conservative like, let's say, Sarah Palin is slimed by, let's say, Bill Maher, what happens? Liberals, they play down the story. They don't care about it. Conservatives are rightly outraged, but liberals aren't. But when a liberal, like the President of the United States, is called a subhuman mongrel, what happens then? Conservatives in the media virtually, if not literally, until this show anyway, ignore that story too. So when it comes to moral outrage, you know, give me a break. On moral outrage, neither side has an ounce of credibility.
All right, folks, welcome back. That's Bernie Goldberg on Megyn Kelly's show on the Fox News Channel. Joining us now to talk about that and so much more is Tim Graham, Director of Media Analysis for the Media Research Center. Hey, Tim. Hello, Tim?
Yes.
Oh, well, there you are. See, modern technology.
Oh, I see. I did a nice hey.
Oh, I don't
come through.
So, well, do it again. Take two. Hey.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi, it's FM Radio. Anyway, you know, I think Bernie Goldberg is wrong. I don't think conservatives shied away from talking about it, and I don't know one conservative who defended Ted Nugent other than to use the liberal mindset and mantra back at them. For instance, they defend Bill Maher. Well, you know, he's a comedian, or, you know, this one or that one. Well, he's a rapper. And what I think conservatives like me were upset about was they tried to label and impugn Greg Abbott, the Republican candidate for governor, and blame him and tie Nugent directly to him and make him suffer the consequences. And I think that's where conservatives who spoke out were speaking out.
Well, obviously the media bias point here is what about that Bill Maher can give $1 million to Barack Obama, and there was no outraged article in the New York Times about when will Barack Obama distance himself and you know, from these comments. When will he distance himself from this major donor? When will he, in fact, send the $1 million back?
Right.
You know, there was nothing of the kind, but there was a very outraged story in the New York Times about how Greg Abbott mysteriously is not backing away from Ted Nugent.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's exactly what I think people were outraged about. Now, tonight should be good. You're well aware, and I'm well aware, CNN's been promoting this. Aside from Wolf Blitzer, I think the most outspoken person on this and trying to tie Abbott to Nugent and tearing Nugent apart, ironically, is Erin Burnett. And I say ironically because I want you to listen to cut number 8 here. This is 2007. Young Erin Burnett on CNBC talking to Joe Scarborough. I'm not sure exactly how. I think there was some kind of G8 summit, and she was talking about the financial aspects of it. And listen how she refers to the sitting president, George W. Bush. Roll it.
Well, Nicolas Sarkozy is in China, which of course is also trying to become a financial capital of the world. And in honor of his visit, the Chinese have announced $30 billion of deals. There he is. I mean, who could not have a man crush on that man? I'm not talking about the monkey either. I'm talking about the other one.
Yeah, exactly. What? A monkey? Who's a monkey? What's she talking about?
Wait. Monkey in the middle. All right.
I don't know. What's she talking about, Willie? You know, I think she's still jet lagged.
That's my president. I don't know who she's talking about.
I know she's not talking about
Why are you talking about Angela Merkel like that? I don't understand.
All right, so she was smirky about it and arrogant about it, and she called George W. Bush a monkey. So I hope that Ted Nugent's aware of that fact, because the irony here and the hypocrisy here is just mind-blowing.
It is. And I think, again, the difference here on some level is they would say to you, well, Bill Maher is a sober, serious student of history and politics, and Ted Nugent's not, you know, and then that's part of it is, you know, everyone who is conservative, everyone who reveres the Constitution, clearly stupid as rocks, and I think that's sort of their approach to it, and so yeah, they have such a hypersensitivity to anyone who criticizes Obama. Now, it is not my cup of tea to use a word like subhuman.
No,
that is not
who
a good
would?
word.
Absolutely not.
However, yes, I mean, you know, look, there is a certain amount of glee taken by people who get so sick of the way that Obama was described by liberals as some sort of superhuman figure. And that's certainly, we can come up with all kinds of quotes where he's described as, compared to Jesus.
Oh, yeah, walking on waters, parting the seas, the whole thing.
And Time magazine said that, some saviors were born in a manger and some were made out of scraps of history and hope. And that's when you want to just say,
right.
Okay, see, there's the anti-Ted Nugent. There's somebody who's dumb as rocks.
Right. No, good point. We're talking to Tim Graham, Media Research Center, here on the Steve Malzberg Show, Director of Media Analysis for MRC. All right, let's talk about Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan announced to the world last night, I guess, that he's leaving because America doesn't want him. And then I'll also ask you this in there. Larry King, who, by the way, in 57 years has never once seen media bias, not once, 57 years. He says, hey, CNN, I'm here. I'll come back.
It's almost not worth reporting that because everybody knows it's the first thing Larry would say.
Right.
Newark, hello, I'm back.
True. So what about Pierce? Obviously, I would assume he was fired. I don't think he's quitting.
No, look, CNN's ratings have been dismal, and this has been true for a long time. How many people have they had in that 8 o'clock slot before Cooper? It was just like a rotating set. Women, for example, Campbell Brown they just couldn't cut it.
And she followed Paula Zahn.
Right.
Yep.
Right. They just haven't had this, the strong personalities, and let's face it, going up against O'Reilly, that's a pretty tough time slot. In this case, Pierce just wasn't even holding up to Rachel Maddow. So, I think that is obviously if you wanted a snobbish person who thinks they're the smartest person in the universe, you can already go to Rachel Maddow.
Right. And King isn't going to be the answer. What about this report today that, again, what is CNN? We hear this is CNN, but what is this? Because, Ned, they keep bringing back Kathy Griffin for those New Year's Eve specials, no matter how vulgar and vile she is and obscene she is, and simulating oral sex doesn't seem to bother CNN. And now they're talking about some kind of hour-long comedy show, something in front of a live audience that they've already done a demo for, possibly for late night, or not late night, but prime time?
Well, of course, they tried a comedy show with D.L. Hughley, which nobody remembers because it was on the air for about 4 weeks. It is they keep trying. They keep throwing things up against the wall.
Jay Leno. They need Jay Leno. That's all.
Well, they are what MSNBC used to be before the Phil Griffin era, where they went and said, let's hire half of Air America and call it TV.
Right.
They had Alan Keyes, they had Scarborough Country, they were all over, they had all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
They had the Tucker Carlson show, and then they decided, no, we can't have any conservatives, and we have to make sure Joe Scarborough is some kind of liberal Democrat who pretends to be a Republican occasionally. And so it's CNN's sort of formless, shapeless, amorphous, try to figure out what it is, and Jeff Zucker's been in charge long enough that you would have thought that they would have figured out some way to do it.
Yeah, it's been a year.
Obviously, one of the decisions they did not make, Steve, was to bring Katie Couric over, and I think that she would have come.
Yeah, well, that would have added some kind of gravitas. Quickly, though, we got a minute left. You and my friend Brent Bozell, of course, wrote a great piece talking all about late night TV and the landscape changing with Leno leaving and of course being taken over by Jimmy Fallon. Big gain for the Democrats.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. People love him, but he is a complete tool for the Obamas. Obama can invite himself onto the Jimmy Fallon show. And, of course, the Seth Meyers show starts tonight. First guest, one of the first guests, Joe Biden. Jimmy Fallon gets Michelle Obama, but Seth Meyers can only get Joe Biden.
Yeah, we're going to have much more of the same. Hey, Tim, always great to talk to you, sir. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Take care. Tim Graham, ladies and gentlemen, Director of Media Analysis for the Media Research Center here on the Steve Malzberg Show.